Hello everyone, this is Jason Merkle with Horizon Hobby, and I'm here today with the all-new E-flite A-10 Thunderbolt 2 twin 64mm EDF. And then for those that know the A-10 very well, sometimes it's affectionately referred to as the Warthog, or for short, just Hog. A very, very amazing airplane in the real world, of course. There's nothing like it, absolutely nothing like it. It looks unique, it performs unique, and in model form, it's the same as well. So we're really excited about this because it's an all-new design. There isn't another A-10 in our lineup that's this size. This is not a modification of an existing airframe or design or anything like that. We designed it from the ground up to kind of be the sweet spot of a little bit of everything. The right size, the right performance, the right amount of scale detail, which keeps it easy to fly, but also makes it fun to fly. We have, again, twin 64mm ducted fans. We've got 11 blade fans in these. But we borrowed the fans from our 64mm single motor EDFs, the F16, F15, but we did something different here. Instead of flying this model on 4S, we went up to 6S. So we've got different kV motors in there. We've got twin 40 amp ESCs that are wired to run on a single 6S 3200 to 4000 milliamp battery. The reason we did that is because we wanted people to be able to use the batteries from, say, their 70mm Viper or F16 Thunderbirds. A lot of guys already have those batteries. So the nice thing is you don't have to buy a new battery to fly this. And then on top of that, with 6S versus 4S, we get a lot more performance. We not only have over 100 mile per hour level flight top speed, we've got basically almost unlimited vertical depending on the performance of your battery, and then also longer than average flight times for this class of model. Now, flight times vary depending on your flying style, your battery condition, battery performance, but you're going to get a few minutes more than you're going to get with typical similar sized models flying on a 4S setup. So that's really exciting. We're flying it today with a 6S 4000 milliamp 50C Spectrum Smart LiPo battery, and the performance, again, it's fantastic. It sounds great. It looks great in the air. We do have a lot more scale detail. There are some other similar class A-10s out there, but this is a lot more scale, a lot more surface finish detail, a lot more detail in general. We also, of course, have the navigation lights that you guys can probably see there. We also have functional flaps out of the box. So it's got those already set up and for it. You've got shock absorbing struts all the way around that definitely do their job. And we're gonna fly it off pavement here today, but you can also fly this model off of grass. Takeoffs and landings off of grass. If you go and you watch our other video, you'll see that in action. Hopefully we might even be able to add some to the tail end of this video. But what's really great about it is that it basically is an airplane that you can fly almost independent of your surfaces. And for this size of EDF model, the fact that it has enough power and it has good shock absorbing and strong mounted landing gear that allows you to take off of grass is fantastic. On top of that, we of course, again, have electric retracts as you'd expect. We've got 9 servos all the way around, and then because we have so many servos in the retracts and the lights and everything, we do have a separate BEC unit in there. So we're not relying on the BECs from the ESCs, of course, but yeah, again, guys, I really think this is like the perfect size A-10. You don't have to transport it by you don't have to take the wing off. It's about 1.1 meter wingspan, about 1 meter length. So it's about the right size to fit in a lot of cars already assembled. You can put this in the trunk of your car, you can put it in the back seat of your car. If you do need to take the wing off, no problem. It's very easy to do. 4 bolts. We do have our version 2 hands-free servo connection system, so you don't have to mess with any wires or connectors or anything like that. It's super easy though, again, to transport it in one piece, and if you do have to break it down for storage and transport, that's easy too. So it's a little bit gray out today, a little bit cold. My hands are a little cold, you know, but that said, we got a little tiny bit of a crosswind, but this is the bind and fly basic version that I'm flying here today, which has a Spectrum AR636 receiver inside with AS3X. And then I've got optional use Safe Select, and I probably won't be using Safe Select on this flight, but the nice thing about this A-10 is it basically, especially with Safe Select active, is the easiest to fly A-10 there's ever been. We've never had an A-10 with Safe Select. There's never been an A-10 in the world with Safe Select built into it. We do have the Ultra Micro version, which has the similar trim scheme to this and has AS3X, but again, doesn't have Safe. Although it is very easy to fly, relatively speaking, for an EDF, we would not recommend this as a first EDF. Definitely would be a great choice for a second EDF. So if you're stepping up from like our F15 64mm or our Viper 70mm, you'll have no problems flying this airplane. You know, the A-10 planform in general performs pretty well, handles pretty well, especially at low speed. And that's one of the coolest parts about this particular model. It's fast, but it also flies really slow. And then on top of that, it just has great handling all the way around. It looks good, it sounds good, flies great. So let's get to the flying. So again, we've got twin 64mm 11 blade fans, which sound really, really good. I'll go to the kind of takeoff flat position for the takeoff. And I probably won't even need to use full throttle to get off the ground. Turn it around here. All right, again, a little bit of a crosswind today, but this airplane does handle it pretty darn well. Here we go. That's about 2/3 throttle, guys. I'm gonna put the gear up, pour on the power, bring the flaps up. I'm just gonna climb out vertical. Not bad. And then for the heck of it, I'm just gonna come back by on a fast pass so you guys can see the speed right from the get-go. Holy cow. Love it. Absolutely love the speed. Gotta love those nav lights as well. They really help with orientation, even on a gray day like today. Oh, it just looks awesome and sounds fantastic. Yeah, really dig that. So again, the high-speed performance is phenomenal. No issue there. Obviously, it's capable of all kinds of aerobatics. Big slow rolls. No problem. Bring it by, do a little point roll here. Oh, it's just so locked in. I really can't stress that enough. It's a combination of the platform, but also, of course, in this being the Bind and Fly Basic version, we've got AS3X, so we do have that as well. Bring it back by inverted. Oh, it's just so incredibly locked in. So easy to do when an airplane flies this good. Got to love it. Bring it back by and do a big loop for us. And the nice thing is this thing has so much power, you can do giant, huge loops if you want to. I'll try and keep it not too giant for the cameraman. Throttle off on the back side here, bring it around. Now I'm gonna put the flaps all the way down. So I'm kind of at the full flap position. Now, of course, you know, flap travel, elevator compensation, a lot of these things are somewhat personal preference, but I am using the recommended full flap travel setting from our manual. Oh, look at that, you can see those nav lights. Hopefully you guys can see that in the video. Look at how slow this thing can fly. Look at that. And then this is really telling, when you're flying an airplane slow like that and you can still maneuver and make a turn going that slow without it falling out of the sky or tip stalling, that's a very significant testament to just how fantastic handling this airplane is. Look at that. So again, guys, not only is it capable of flying fast, it can also fly slow. Now, I probably wouldn't recommend doing this with it all the time. It's a jet. It's made to fly fast, so to speak. Of course, A-10s in general don't always fly fast, but oh, it's just so cool that you can fly it that slow. All right, I'm gonna punch the power, put the flaps away, climb out vertical a bit.
20 seconds.
I'm gonna do another high-speed pass from left to right this time. And then we'll set her up for landing.
10, 9, 8.
Oh, just love how fast it is. No problem. All right, so now put the flaps down, put the gear down, do a quick gear pass, and then we'll set her up for an approach. And one nice thing about this airplane is because it has that phenomenal low speed handling, it is pretty darn easy to land for a jet. Probably honestly one of our easiest to land jets. Again, doesn't make it a good first jet per se. It's a pretty complex airplane with flaps and retracts and twin power systems. You know, but that said, when you're flying this thing, if you've flown any jets before, you'll appreciate just how easy it is to land relative to a lot of them. All right, so again, I got the full flaps right now. Keeping a little bit of power on. Bringing it on to final here. Got a little crosswind. no problem. And honestly, guys, you can land it slower than that. Came in a little faster because of the crosswind in particular, but no problem. And I'll taxi it back here. And that's one of the other beauties of this airplane. It has phenomenal ground handling because it's got the shock absorbing struts. It's got the tricycle landing gear, relatively wide spaced. It just looks fantastic. And by the way, I didn't mention this, but of course, all the armament is optional use and removable. Just looks fantastic. And there you guys have it. E-flite A-10 Thunderbolt 2, twin 64mm EDF. Make sure you guys pick one of these up. It's phenomenal. All right, guys, we are gonna do a grass takeoff and then a landing with the A-10. This grass is really thick right now. The ground is really rough, really hard, really lumpy because it's still relatively winter time. But you guys will see 6S power, no problem. Look at that. This grass is really, really rough right now. Do a quick fast pass just because we can. Put the gear back down, set her up for a landing approach. So again, this is definitely worst case scenario for a lot of reasons. And most people, the grass that they fly off of, even with larger EDFs and whatnot, is going to be no problem for this airplane. So I'll do a quick landing here. What you'll notice is because the grass is so thick and the ground is so rough, it's going to come to a pretty darn abrupt stop. And that's okay. The shock absorbing gear and the gear mounts, everything are handling it just fine. I've done multiple takeoffs and landings now. So you guys have it. Thank you.